Hi, it's Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, it's the second half of 2020, and what I want to do this episode is really just have a conversation with you of what I believe is going to take place over the next several quarters, what advisors need to do to take advantage of that, and really ask you a series of questions to help get you focused, give you clarity on what path or what door you should open, right, to go ahead and be successful. Um, I always, and I've done this for many decades, I've always done a mid-year review. So I've always believed that, hey, halftime, right, in our annual game, we need to take a second. We need to look at everything, our what we accomplished, our numbers, our KPIs, or OKRs, and then I take my clients through like an 18-point benchmarking process. And what we end up with is a narrative, right, measurement, and then benchmark measurements. And what I did for myself, and I'm going to paraphrase what I talked about. You know, I really think that the first half of this year, and we can kind of go pre-COVID, mid-March, post-COVID, right? The tale of two halves, basically. Um, I think we all have to make a decision, a determination on what we want to do going forward. When I look at the last half of the year, the first part of 2020, I see really two industries. I see advisors who are out there not loving life. Don't get me wrong; everybody's dealing with what they got to deal with, but are finding a way forward. They are flexible. They are pivoting. They are creating a new game for themselves. They are embracing technology. They're embracing working from home. They're embracing having their teams virtual, right? And developing business virtually, serving their clients virtually and growing their business. The fascinating part, as I've talked to my clients and I've talked to members of Magellan Network, as they go through their process, they provide me feedback. At least in my tribe. Now, again, we deal with a very small subset of our industry, but by and large, 95% of my tribe is actually on target for their economic goals. They're within striking distance. So, in other words, we're not out of the game, right? Now, why is that? Because we never stopped doing the work. We never stopped. We pivoted, we shifted. Yes, we took some body blows, and it was ugly at times. And depending on where you are in the world and in the country, in the United States, it's a very uneven experience, right? And which is still going on, unfortunately. But the reality is that, and the fascinating part is we've been so busy just kind of making things happen that we haven't stopped to measure. And a lot of my tribe was very surprised on a positive note, right? Hey, you know what? I did my numbers and they were better than I thought, right? I brought in more money than I thought. My top line's not bad. Again, if you're doing, April was a little dicey, right, with the markets, but we recovered nicely and we feel pretty good about things. And there's a lot of money in motion right now, right? But you got to know how to get it. And I think that's where our industry really suffers right now. Is I think a lot of advisors are applying an old methodology, which I now believe to be obsolete, in trying to shape their new game, and that's what will frustrate you. I was literally, as I'm recording this, 5 minutes ago, I was talking to one of my long-term clients. He's with more of an insurance type broker dealer, and what we were discussing was he was just on a management call, and the fascinating thing is like nobody's working. Nobody's out there developing business. Accounts are down. Apps are down. Everything's down. And the comment was, "Is my team the only team working?" Right? And the answer is, yeah, pretty much. So I really believe we have a bifurcation in our industry. I believe that advisors are going to fall into two broad camps. I think camp number one is the camp of the past, which is, oh my gosh, and this is the psychology, right? Oh, I can't meet clients. I can't shake their hand. I can't go eyeball to eyeball. I can't take them out to lunch. I can't play golf with them. We can't do our client events. We can't do our seminars, whatever. And that becomes the narrative why we can't do things. And so what do? We dive into being busy, right? So we pluck on the TV and the social media and the streams on the computer, and we just go into this deep, deep, deep void of unconsciousness. We're basically in a trance, right? Almost like if you picture a movie like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson when they're in the insane asylum, right? And they're heavily medicating the patients and they're just sitting in a wheelchair in front of the TV, literally like a drone. That's what a lot of advisors are like. They're just unconscious, trying to figure out how to be busy for the day, getting pissed off about it, and getting frustrated. And unfortunately, I believe after several months of our new world, that is a majority of our industry. So that's bucket number one. Bucket number two, bucket I like, are the innovators. Now, let me say this very clear. Innovation does not mean age, right? I've got clients in my game in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s that are playing a virtual game. I've got a client in California. I love her to death. She's pivoted her adult eds onto Zoom, and she's in her early 70s, and she kicked most of your butts. That's how energetic she is. Hi, Terry. And, it's just something where it's a mindset. And I believe advisors have got to make a decision, not like a conversation or a passing thought, but a real declaration. How am I going to move forward in this new environment? And we're not going to have a conversation about, well, why it is or when's it going to stop, or forget all that. When I did my mid-year, I wrote a narrative that says this is the game till further notice. And what does that mean? Limitations, lockdowns, no live events, no travel, right? Till further notice. Not in 3 months or October, everything be fine, or next spring. It's like, no, till further notice. And once I made that declaration, other doors open. So other doors closed, right? The travel doors closed, the live event doors closed, right? Things that I really enjoy doing, big part of my business model, right? They're closed. I'm not going to try to open them to rage against the machine or anything like that. That doesn't serve a purpose. So when I close those doors, new doors opened, right? But the only way you're going to be able to open those doors is to make a declaration. This is the way it is. I think a lot of you are hoping, oh, I can't wait to go. I can't wait till we get open. I can't wait till they do it. Look, how do you know? There's no certainty. And that was my problem. When I was going through my game, I had all this uncertainty. Every time we had 16 live events scheduled this year. Every time we'd have a live event, it'd get canceled. We try to move it. Then now, like one of my masterminds, we're going to go to Los Angeles. We try to pivot to San Diego because LA County got shut down. We moved it to San Diego. Last week, San Diego, now we got a problem there, right? So it's just like it just can't do it. So once I decided that, I took all that off the table. Other doors started to open. Door number one, how do I create the best virtual coaching process in the industry? Most powerful. And I don't mean in terms of, practice management or marketing or things like that. Like, how do I move an advisor forward? How do I help them reframe their game? Because that's what it boils down. See, that's what a lot of you have to do. You got to sit down and say, what is my game now? What do I need to do? Ask better questions, right? The question of how do I get through, how do I survive this is not a good question. Because if you ask your brain to survive, that's what it'll do. Well, survive means, hey, you talk to a couple clients, you check on some stuff, and then you go ahead and sit in front of the TV like a cuckoo's nest, and you just sit there like a drone, right? Or you say, how do I thrive through this? Where's the game, right? Where's the ball going? Where's the puck going? How do I create a powerful virtual experience for my clients, for my team, my marketing, my business development, all that? Different question, different set of answers, right? But you're not going to be able to do that if you're locked in like a drone, right? Just always go back to, so hopefully for some of you will get this anchor, right? That, every time you're watching the news, you're going to think, oh, dude, I'm the person in the wheelchair once over the cuckoo's nest, that heavily medicated person. And go watch the movie, and you'll know exactly what I mean if you haven't seen it in a while, right? You have to decide what your game's going to be. So I made a declaration to myself when I did my mid-year. I said, you know what? My game is going to be 100% virtual. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to thrive through this. I'm going to rock star. I'm going to add even more value. And what I started to realize is as I start to talk myself through this and brainstorm and whiteboard and do everything that I do to kind of get clarity for myself, other doors start to open up. where, okay, if I can't do my live business planning event in South Florida this year because of COVID, right? How am I going to bring a couple hundred advisors, put them in a room with, even though it's beautiful, how's that going to work? Reality is probably not. So what am I going to do next week? I'm going to mind map, white chart, flow chart, everything out, how to create a masterclass, live masterclass on business planning. You know what's great about that? Because it's virtual, I can charge less. I can invite more because now I don't have limitations on how many people I have in the room. All of a sudden, something that was negative to me, really frustrating to me, right? Once I declared that's not going to happen, another door opened up, and now I'm excited because I'll be able to reach more of you. In fact, the reality is that every one of you, if you so desire, at the end of this year, can spend time with me over a series of weeks in a live masterclass process working on your 2021 business plan. And you need to do this. Why? If you go into the new year wondering what the hell to do, you're done. You'll survive. Remember, survive, thrive. Two different psychologies, right? So that's what you need to do as an advisor, is declare things to yourself. Figure out what your game needs to be going forward. What changes do you need to make? The other thing I will say, and now reading several of my clients' mid-years, you have to make sure you have absolute clarity on your time. And what I mean by that is, what am I going to be working in my business, right? Talking to clients, talking to prospects, doing reviews, updating financial plans, updating portfolios, we're in it, right? With clarification on what I'm working on it. And the real thing is to figure out your renewal time. So one of the things that's been more of a personal story for me. So the way I've always kept myself in a really good lockdown mode was I was very, very committed to my renewal time. And what I used to do is, if again, we do a lot of live events, my wife Marissa and I would fly into a city. We spend a couple of days hang out, right, chill, do an event, stay a couple extra days, and that way I see parts of the United States. Spent a lot of time last year in Minneapolis, right, multiple times in Southern California, so on and so forth, New York, and so on, Chicago twice. Loved every minute of it, right? Good, gets to experience things, so on. This year, no trip. In fact, I will not be on an airplane for probably 24 months. It's very possible. I mean, it's almost a certainty now I will not fly in 2020, where I flew pretty much twice a month last year, right? So for me, it's about the one thing I noticed, and one other thing I noticed with a lot of my clients is we're lacking renewal time, vacations, right? And look, I understand the vacation game's different now, right? You may not be able to do what you thought. My goal for August, because it's Florida here, and August it's what it is, right? Is I was going to spend 3 weeks in California. I was going to spend some time in San Diego, sometimes in Orange County, then up in Paso Robles, right, in wine country, and I was going to do like a week, do an event, and really kind of combine it all. All that's gone, right? I was supposed to go to Europe this fall. That's gone. Point is this. I've had to sit down and say, okay, I still need to get renewal time. I still need to get out of my game. How am I going to do that? And what I came up with is what I call micro or mini vacations. So what I'm going to do twice a month is take 2 or 3 days. I've got a local place here in Vero Beach, which I love, on the ocean. It's an hour from my house. And my wife and I, who's my business partner, we're going to go there twice a month for two nights, maybe 3. And we're going to take my strategic weeks and now make them strategic renewal weeks. So tactical week, strategic renewal, tactical, strategic renewal, and get these little mini breaks in there, so I can't take the large one. Right? I'm not good trying to take weeks locally. I always fall back into my game. I love it so much, right? But I also will say this, as from an advisor standpoint, there is more opportunity today to grow your business than there was a year ago. Here's why I say that. As I made a comment about who's working in the industry right now, who's out there really looking to market, to move forward. It's not the majority, it's definitely the minority. And so you still have people retiring, you still have advisors retiring, which is a whole nother conversation. You still have people not happy with their advisor because they're not hearing from them because they're bunkered up. It's been fascinating. I don't have all my data yet, but I will probably next couple of weeks. But I'm going to take a good guess and say that number one, my clients are brought in more assets first half of this year than I did first half of last year. Number two, I know we've driven way more referrals as a unit than we did this year than we did last year. Same period. I also know we've gotten more CPA and account attorney referrals than we did last year because of what's going on. Right? I know that for a fact. I just don't have the data yet, but I'm absolutely certain that's going to be the case. Now, why is that? Because people still need help. People are available. The one thing I'll say is, there's two things that most human beings are looking at right now: their health and their wealth. And you got to remember that in a situation where there's a lot of frustration and almost helplessness, that if you can go to a human being and say, look, there are areas of your life that you can take advantage, that you can be very proactive on. Number one, you can be proactive on your health, right? You can eat better, exercise, build up your immunity, right? You can do that. That's in your control. The second thing that's in your control is how you want to deal with your money. How do you want to deal with the family game, right? The wealth. How do you want to deal with that? Because that one you can be proactive on, right? Financial plans, we look at allocations. There are a lot of things as an advisor you could bring to the table of your clients and prospects that would actually make them feel better. Never forget this. We as human beings are always going to feel better when we're moving towards something, when we're taking action, right? Versus feeling stagnant. Imagine what you could do with your clients and prospects when you sit down over Zoom or a phone call or a Skype, I don't care, whatever it is, and you say, let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about what we can do. Instead of just having an engagement about a tactical issue with their plan or what they need to do, why don't you take a step back and say, look, how are you feeling about things? Are you frustrated? Are you wherever you're at, right? Look, if I can show you things that we can do that you can move forward on, that would make you feel good, like you're achieving things, accomplishing things, getting things done, having control, would you want to have that conversation? And what we're finding is, the answer is yes, overwhelmingly. But notice it's a different question than you're used to asking. That's why the game is changing. You cannot have the same conversations that you're having with your prospects today as you did maybe a year ago. You cannot be having the same conversations with your clients as you were having 6 months ago. It's a different game, different set of rules, and a different way to approach things, which requires a human being, you, to decide whether or not you're ready to make changes. Or you're ready to step into a new game. Or you're ready to evolve. Or do you want to sit, bitch, whine, moan, complain about the hand that you were dealt, and now you have a narrative of why you're not achieving? Well, see, it's not me. Look, COVID came, my office is closed, my assistant, I can't do things, I can't do my dinner seminars, I can't do my client events, I can't do my networking, and I'm a victim. That's the easy conversation for most human beings. See, not my fault. And I'm going to tell you right now, 80% of our industry is having that exact conversation. That's why if you believe you're one of the 20%ers, and I work with 20%ers, that's my game. You have such an opportunity right here, right now, to build whatever it is you want to build. You just have to tear up the old blueprints and start with a fresh set and build. If this made any sense to you at all, I invite you to step into my game, MagellanNetwork.net. Come play with my tribe and me for the next 14 days. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this episode of the Magellan Network Show. So there you have it. If you really enjoyed watching this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Magellan Network Show with Coach Joe here on YouTube. And remember, I'm always here to help you become a better entrepreneur, business owner, and financial advisor. With that, I'll see you next time on the Magellan Network Show with me, Coach Joe. Take care and goodbye.